Have you ever lifted a blonde perfectly, toned it, and it still looks warm? Let's talk about some of the reasons why that happens and how to actually fix it. Hello and welcome. My name is Orla, full time hairstylist, salon owner, and educator. And in this episode of the Troubleshooting Series, we're breaking down why blondes still look warm, even when the lift looks good and the toner choice feels right. I'll walk you through what's really happening in the hair and some of the problems that we have behind the chair and how to fix it. Lightening does not create blonde, it reveals underlying pigment. As melanin breaks down, it moves through predictable warm stages: red, red orange, orange yellow, yellow. If lightning stops at the orange yellow or strong yellow stage, warm pigment is still physically very present inside the cortex. A toner cannot remove pigment. It can only add opposing color to visually neutralize it. So when the toner fades, the warmth shows up again, not because the toner failed, but because the warmth was never fully lifted out. So a behind the chair example. Warmth occurs naturally in the hair. So say we lift to a level 9, tone icy, and it looks amazing. 2 weeks later, the client comes back and says, it's warm again. You keep changing toners, but the same thing happens every time. Now, there could be a variety of reasons this happens, but you need to lift past where you want to land. Icy blondes must be lifted to a pale yellow. Neutral blondes can be lifted to a clean yellow. Stop expecting toner to correct incomplete lift. Adjust toner strength by zone. Mid often needs more power than the ends. Even when warmth is neutralized, yellow reflects more light than violet or blue. And what's really important is that warmth reflects light. Okay? So red is the most, orange is the second, yellow is the third in terms of strength of this. So warmth gives the illusion of brightness, okay? So you can actually see this in a redhead or a copper. It is very hard to get their base. For this, a little tip is if you take your camera and put it in black and white with a level finder, your life will be a lot easier identifying a natural redhead or copper with this little trick because it appears lighter when there's warmth in the hair, okay? So this is a visual issue, not a formulation issue. Under natural light, sunlight, or camera light, yellow wavelengths bounce back stronger, making the blonde appear warmer, even if the pigment balance is technically correct. The hair didn't change, the lighting did. So in the salon, a client could love it in the salon, goes outside or takes photos and says it looks warm or it looks different in every mirror in every room. This is actually accurate. So based on what light we're presented in can actually affect the end result. So when formulating, we just want to keep this in mind. So you may want to choose like a toner based on like real life lighting, not just the salon. So sometimes this does mean taking a mirror up to the front of the salon or wherever there's natural light to actually show them what it will look like if they feel like it's maybe on the off chance too cool. For clients that are in lots of natural light, I would build in extra cool support and always dry the front piece first at the front, because there's nothing worse when you blow dry the whole head and then either have to retone or readjust your formula. So just keep that in mind. So yellow reflects more light than cool tones, so it appears brighter. Porosity is uneven in the hair. So why this happens? Porosity controls how much toner absorbs and where it stays. So porous hair absorbs typically more pigment and looks darker and cooler, even though it could be the same level. Resistant hair absorbs less pigment and reflects more warmth. So when this happens on the same head, the eye reads the contrast as overall warmth, even if the formula itself was balanced. So a behind the chair example would be like you have this beautiful blonde and then the ends for some reason look smoky and cool still. The mid shaft or the crown area could still look warm and the blonde looks even when it's wet but uneven when it's dry. That's a porosity issue. However, we can fix that. So you can pre-treat porous areas with the porosity equalizer or filler. An example of this would be Redken Cat. It is amazing. I would highly recommend. You can zone tone. You can zone tone basically. So like your root will be one formula, your mids might be another, and your ends would be a third. So you want it stronger where the hair resists. So it might be stronger on your root formula and it might be less on the ends. So you can either do that by diluting or clear or adding clear to your formula where your hair is porous, or it might be it just does not stay on as long due to grabbing. You're toning at the wrong level. I can't tell you that this is the number one reason why I see toning fail. So when you're toning, you cannot tone a level 7 orange with a level 9 toner. It will appear warmth. You will be fighting for your life trying to get this to work. So sometimes, unfortunately, you need to drop it back. The reason why we get nervous with this is because, like we said earlier on, cool colors absorb light, light colors reflect. So if we're trying to control orange, we need a blue, and blue can appear very dark, darkening down the end result. So this is where expectations would come into play, but you're toning at the wrong level. If you're worried, you need to overshoot the mark a little bit. Now, not too far where it becomes a filling problem, but enough to where you can correct at the correct level and tone at the correct level. I literally just touched base on this, but the expectation versus hair reality. This is something as your career continues, I feel like you build more confidence in. But if the hair integrity limits further lift, warmth may be the safest compromise, not a failure. And this is where professionalism comes into play. Sometimes it is unsafe to continue lifting your guest's hair, and you need to let them know, you need to educate them, and you can prep the hair. And sometimes it just doesn't lift past a certain level, and that's just the way life is. So then you can come up with a new game plan going forward. They can still have a beautiful, cool color or cool end result if that's what they're looking for, but we might have to pivot on how bright that would be. So, in summary, some of the reasons why your blonde still could look warm is because the hair wasn't lifted far enough. Yellow reflects more light than cool tones. Toner absorbs unevenly due to porosity, and you didn't tone correctly at the correct level. If this helped you understand blondes better, subscribe for more real troubleshooting from behind the chair, and I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.